Hello, everybody. I just want to talk about a subject or a topic rather um, that I recently had come across Kevin Smith talking about on a YouTube video. And anyway, I just wanted to basically kind of not what he doesn't need sticking up for, so to speak. It's more sticking up for the reptile community. How you know people who own reptiles and these exotic animals are being placed in this bad light, this what do you want to call it, this kind of section of, it's wrong, it's this, it's that, it's, people that own snakes are only doing it because they like to see things die and watch things get killed, and it's like it's not true. I mean, I know Kevin Smith had said that himself, and so did Brian Barczyk and a few others. um there's loads of people, actually, to be fair. But the problem, people like us who keep reptiles, who keep, these lovely creatures, these, fascinating animals, are being ridiculed and like kind of blacklisted in a way because of it. And there's people out there that spoil it for the people like us, like, you know these animal lovers, these keepers of exotic animals, making us look bad, making it hard for us to want to own these, and show the world that actually these creatures, these animals, aren't nasty, aggressive, slimy, disgusting, murdering creatures. They're not. They're just not. And as goes for, these people that are like, yeah, man, I'll just watch my Burmese python kill a bloody chicken, or it's just killed a goose and stuff like that. It's like, why would you want the world to see that? See the negative. It's not even. Well, it's not negative, because at the end of the day, every creature's got to. Every animal's got to eat. Every animal eats what it eats and does what it does to survive. Now, granted, my snakes never eat live. All frozen forward, right? They do not eat live. I will. I just. It's not that I don't agree with them not. I don't disagree with feeding snakes live food, because some of them are born, and they're fed live, so it's very hard to transition from live to forward, like frozen forward. So but the people out there that show it and be like, yeah, we just nailed him, it's like, don't need to see that. I think it's wrong, because even the care of them, rats, mice, birds, hamsters, rabbits, you name it, whatever you're feeding your snake live, at the end of the day, you still have a duty of care of that animal, regardless if it's a feeder animal or not. For example, my crickets and mealworms, I still have to take care of them, make sure they're still healthy, make sure you know, they're not cared for in a horrific way. They're cared for properly, regardless if they're used for food or not. They're still living until, obviously, until you feed it your animal. So there's no need for the cruelty of some, not saying any names really. I'm not pointing anyone out. It's just there's some people out there that have got these videos and they've got a rat, it's live, and they're like, yeah, and they're holding it by the tail, and they're like, tapping it on the floor, trying to get the snake to come over to it. They throw it in the tank. So that, regardless if that animal's about to die in the next 5 minutes, next 2 seconds, you still should not treat that animal with disrespect. It's just not on, because it makes us as a community look bad. And we're not about that. Like, the proper reptile lovers are people that genuinely care for these animals and care for the well-being, and want the world to know that these animals aren't aggressive. Well, don't be wrong, they can be. There is animals out there that are. And I'm not saying they're all tame and docile, because there's people out there who just don't handle the reptiles, full stop. So they've still got that wild instinct of fear and, like, to protect themselves. At the end of the day, if she bit me now, would I blame the snake? No, because it'd be my fault. right? She's instinctually like, she can't talk to us. She can't tell us what's going on. She can't say something, Dad, I'm not in the mood today. Don't pick me up. The only way she can do that is by hissing and showing aggression. And at the end of the day, it's not she wants to hurt me. No, in no means does she want to hurt me. If anything, it actually stresses a snake out when they bite us. Or when they bite anything, it's quite stressful for them. And I trust my baby. I do. She's beautiful. And from the day she was born, like, I made sure we built a trust, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yeah. A lot of people think I'm a bit weird because I talk to my snakes as I do my dog. And my dog sat over there. And they're right, baby. Rocks, come here. Come here. Come on. Come on then. Come on. Come on. Come on. Jump up. Come on, baby. Come on. That's it, Locks, See, and Rocks, she's very inquisitive. Like, what's the name? Inquisitive? So she's very curious. Well, I know she'd never hurt her. And I know there's a lot of people out there that frown upon, like, stuff like this. But at the end of the day, go down a second, Rocks. That's it, good girl. At the end of the day, I find the more you interact your animals, not necessarily with every other animal you've got, but like, for example, the dog. A lot of people, I won't trust a snake near any of my animals, it'll kill it. No, she won't. My old dog, Pip, before she passed away 2 years ago, she used to get in my snake tank, right? This was many years ago, many years ago. Before I had this one, I used to have a female royal and another female royal, sorry. And she was very ill. She was a very poorly snake. I got her from this pet shop, and she looked like she wasn't cared for properly at all. I'm not saying any names of this pet shop. Put it this way, the living conditions these animals were in were horrendous. And she was same size as what she is, but very you could tell she hadn't been fed properly and she hadn't been cared for. She had scars on her. It was horrendous. She was blind in one eye. Anyway, and yeah, she was a very aggressive snake when I first, bought her from the shop. After I think it was a couple of months, she was just tame as anything. And my dog used to get in the tank. I'd slide open the glass, like to get a water bowl out or something or anything like that. Next thing you know, the dog straight in, lay there with the snake. The snake used to curl up into a ball, tuck itself underneath the dog's fur, and just lay there. And I can't say every snake's going to be like that, right? Because it's just not. You do that with Burmese python or a retic or anything like that, or an anaconda, or anything big of substantial size, I wouldn't trust a little dog in with that. I'm sorry, I wouldn't. I don't care how much I love my snake or trust my snake. I wouldn't trust a small dog with a big snake. But anyway, so it goes to show they're not all about killing and murdering, and they're like any animal. They need, there's, I can't even find the words for it. I really can't. There's people like me are so passionate about animals, not just reptiles. Every single living creature on this planet I adore, and I think they should all be protected. And I could get into a real strong argument or debate about why reptiles are kept in these tanks and why I think it's right to preserve the life of reptiles, because there's some evil people out there, like these people that go find these rattlesnake caves, smoke them out, bag them up like they're a piece of dirt, and then they go to auction to be turned into belts, hats, wallets, shoes, and it's like, you cruel. I ain't gonna say it because end of the day, I want people to watch my channel and see the passion that not only I have, but that other people have for these reptiles. And if you're someone out there who thinks it's cool and thinks it's fun to watch a snake kill an innocent creature, okay, it's going to be food, right? Your snake needs to eat, I get it. But if you're one of those that finds it funny, it's great to show the world. I'm sorry, you're sick. I wouldn't even say sick. I think bit of an arsehole, to be honest, because you ruin it for the rest of us. Because then they put rules and regulations on what reptiles you can have, what snakes you can't, what you can and can't do with it, and they're making it stricter and harder. Not for us over here in the UK, it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all, to be honest. But for you guys over in America and what have you, I could only imagine how hard it is for the licensing and all that and the other, because there's dickheads out there that are making it hard for you. Because people like, Kevin Smith and Brian Barczyk and, they love their animals. And I've seen so many videos about how Brian neglects his animals and his tanks are dirty or his cages are dirty and what have you. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. For example, my snakes, right? Okay, they're not on tissue or anything like that. I mean, I personally think a bit of substrate is better than tissue. But if you're from a breeder's point of view, I get it. And I support it. Because at the end of the day, they've got to try and make sure, because if they had substrates, like what I have, like I've got orchid bark for my snakes, right? And if I had that on a breeding scale where I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of snakes, and they're pooing and stuff, sometimes you might miss a bit, because, you're picking, right? So there's chance of fungal infections and bacteria and disease and so on to grow and, become potentially dangerous. Because they are in a smaller confined area, so to speak, and they're on a bigger scale. So with the tissue and stuff, yeah, I think it's fair enough, because you get to see the mess. Like, you can see the mess, you can clean it. And these negative videos about how he doesn't care for his animals, that's bollocks. I'm sorry, I don't know the man personally. I've never met him. I'd love to meet him, and I hope he sees this video. And the same goes for Kevin Smith as well. I'd love to meet the man. I'd love to meet him. Honestly, I really would. Because it's, like, for fuck's sake, you cannot, every time a snake shits, you don't just go and change it straight away, because you've got so many animals to look at. They're all breeding, they're doing what they're doing. And when, just like, okay, they might see one snake, it's got a bit of poo in its tank. So what? So you're saying your dog, your cat, your fish, your hamster, your whatever animal you have got, if you're one of these people that are commenting saying, oh, it's disgusting, look at your fucking self, right? If you have got an animal, whether it's a bird, like I said, bird, hamster, fish, snake, bloody dog, cat, anything, even if it's insects, ants, worms, whatever you've got, you're telling me 100% of the time your tank is, or enclosure or whatever it is 100% clean every single day. And if you are one of those people, right, look at yourself in the mirror quickly and think of, oh, actually, I shouldn't be the one judging, because I've got animals. I say, for example, I have a hamster. Well, I did have a hamster, it passed away, sadly. But let's say that hamster, for example, and I'm slagging someone off on YouTube because their snake tank was dirty. Just that one chance I see it was dirty. My hamster ain't always clean. No, I cleaned out. I used to clean her out once every, realistically, once every week, once or maybe twice a week sometimes, depending on how dirty she decided to get the tank, the hamster cage. But animal was perfectly healthy. She had no issues. She just died of age. There was no health problems. She was lovely, and yeah, it just frustrates me how people see these animals in such a bad light. It's frustrating. It really is. I mean, look how calm she is. Look how relaxed she is. If she wanted to, she was a nasty animal. She'd have bit me God knows how many times. She could have broke my wrist if she wanted to. If she really wanted to squeeze hard enough, she could snap my little finger. Straight down, bang, snap it. She won't. She's just tasting the air. She's like, Dad, what's going on? And I'm in full support. So, Kevin, Brian, if you're watching this, or what's his name? Tyler. Oh, I can't remember his surname now. But there's a reptile guy called Tyler, who I can tell is properly passionate. I'm just going to put her away quickly, because it's not that warm here in the UK, and it's hard to keep your house at a bang on temperature. So I put her back in. But I can tell that man is so passionate about his animals, and he loves his animals. Especially his parakeet, his macaw. His macaw is beautiful. And when I watched one of the videos where he's cuddling it and he's talking to it and that, oh, amazing. Hats off to that guy. But yeah, I can see why people, they look at someone like him, for example. No, in no way am I ever going to badmouth that man because I think he's amazing. But just from his image, people look at, well, he's one of those. Like I showed someone one of his videos, and there was, oh, just look at him, he's typical. Like, what do you mean typical? He's like, because he's covered in tattoos, he's got all these animals, I bet he doesn't treat them. I'm like, no, look, you can see his passion in his eyes and the way he protrudes and gives off his body language towards his animals. You know he loves them animals. You know he does, right? And it's nice to see, but the more, for example, the video he did when he got bit on the finger and he lost his finger, like Kevin Smith said, all people see is that first time he got bit and lost his finger and how negative impact that was, but no one's seeing the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times he's handled that snake and never been bit. It just takes one chance, right? And it's the same with a dog, for example. So like Roxy, I know damn well well, I think this is every pet owner will say when they've got dogs and cats, oh, they've never hurt a person, they're never going to bite. But as much as I can happily sit here and say, I trust that dog with my life, I know she would never bite me or hurt anyone in an aggressive way, there's still always a chance. And this is what annoys me with people when they say, my reptile, my animal was never going to hurt anyone. Well, you can't say that because you don't actually know. But at the same time, it's these people that don't keep reptiles are like, I don't think they're willing to understand what we go through, what the passion we have and the drive we have to make a point and say to people, look, this animal will not hurt you unless it is provoked or you catch it on a bad day. You startle it, you're in feeding or you're stressing the snake out or you're doing this and that. I think the point I'm trying to get at is snakes, all reptiles and animals are all capable of hurting somebody or something or of lashing out. Same with us. We're exactly the same. We're an animal at the end of the day. We are an animal. And we are probably the cruelest animals on this planet. So, for these people that are like calling us horrible people for keeping reptiles or not willing to understand why we do the things we do, is to educate people. Like I would love to open up my own zoo like Brian Barchek when he opened up his Reptarium. That I'm actually looking towards next year. I want to try and see if I can, somehow do that. Open up my own like Reptarium, kind of like reptile zoo, and get people involved. Get the younger generation to be like, I love snakes, I love reptiles, I love lizards, I love animals. And teach them and really educate nowadays youth, because nowadays youth don't have a clue what's going on. All they're interested about is this: head down, texting. Get them involved again. Get them, because kids nowadays don't give a shit about animals. It's like, oh, dog's a dog, cat's a cat, bird's a bird, and so on and so on. I can go on forever. But it's really getting them to help wildlife as well, not just animals you can buy from a shop, just wild animals like for in the UK, hedgehogs, foxes, badgers, or like the wild birds, even pigeons, pheasants, rats, mice, you name it, even like the insects and what have you, and fish. And I get this subject can go on forever. I just want to say this, like, if we get the younger generation on board and conservation work and fight forwards for the animal rights, because they can't stand up for themselves, because we humans are the ones that are killing them, are destroying their habitats, bringing their population numbers down. That's our fucking fault. No one else to blame for that. It's us as a human race. It is our fault, because there is no other predator above us. We are the top predator. And we're the ones that are going to eventually, 20 years later, 20 years down the line, well, 10, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever, however long the period of time is, one day we'll go, we fucked up, even though we knew we were fucking up. But we fucked up because now we have no more tigers, no lions, no this, no that, no that. And the only person we've got to blame is ourselves, because we're greedy. We love the idea of possessing these. I can't even put it into words. Like, like they all pop into my head. Like these trophy hunters, they're going to pop off a lion, which, to me personally, if I ever caught anybody shooting a lion or any animal for sport, I'd turn the gun around and point it on you and then kill you for sport, because I'd happily protect an animal's life. I prefer animals more than people. So if someone said to me, I'd kill that bloke there or kill that elephant, I'd kill the bloke. Fuck the bloke. There's too many of us, right? But the elephant deserves to live. Why the fuck should that get killed? Do you know what I mean? Just for what? Its tusks? Or to turn around to your mates at some bachelor party, look at me, I just killed an elephant for its tusks and it cost me $20,000. It's like, fuck off, right? You're a prick. You deserve to get shot in the bollocks or have your dick chopped off and fucking sewed to your forehead, because that's what you are. Now, again, I feel like I'm getting a bit passionate. I'm getting a bit taken away with myself. So I apologise for the swearing. I just feel like we need to stand up for the smaller creatures, that we need to stand up for the things that can't stand up for themselves and say no to the dickheads that are trying to make our lives hard for caring for these animals. Because if we didn't care for these animals, one, I know damn well they'd have been hunted to extinction, because the dickheads who like doing that stuff would have done it. Two, we are keeping the educational, like, and the conservational mind still going, because it's each reptile or animal, no matter what animal it is, you're potentially caring for its future species. Although there's hundreds of millions and God knows what reptiles and dogs and cats, but you're still preserving that life. You're still caring for that life, right? So the people who do genuinely love your animals and care for them, have passion like I do to protect these animals from the arseholes of the world and these high higher end businesses that are hunting these animals for trophy hunting, or whether it's for belts, shoes, hats, and the dickheads out there that don't see an issue in it, we need to be the ones to stand up to them and say no. We need to fight for the rights for the animals. And I almost feel like I'm being a bit of like a fucking conservation warrior right now. Big up to my man Steve Irwin, right? I never met the man. I was a kid when he died, and that was heartbreaking. And that man, that bloke, was an inspiration, still is an inspiration to me. And I want to pass that on to my son, to love and care for his animals, and to respect living creatures, to be honest. And I know it's a bit hypocritical and saying, yeah, but you feed your snakes dead animals or live animals, or like insects and they're still creatures, still animals, they're still living things. But it's you kind of look past that, because I know you're taking a life to preserve a life, which sounds wrong, but at the end of the day, humans, I eat meat. Yeah, so I know it's a bit, it's a bit of a thing. Like, if you really love animals, you want to eat meat. Blah blah blah. I get it. But at the end of the day, we eat meat, which equals to we killing animals. Other animals kill animals to survive, and that animal has to, whether it's a plant eater, if it just eats like vegetables, like a tortoise would mostly do, then it's not. You don't have to kill anything to feed that, but then at the same time, a snake will still always kill something to eat it. The rats and mice will still eat, seeds and bits, and maybe even a worm here and there. So something will always die or feed something else, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm in a weird mood right now, because I just feel like being wildlife warrior. But yeah, I hope this video kind of gets out to the people that I want to kind of get to in a way, so they see it and go, man, this guy's passionate. He loves his animals. Like, we need to do something about this. And say to these organisations that are trying to bring the restrictions with keeping animals and reptiles and so on tighter and tighter and tighter, so we can't keep them anymore. We've got to try and get to them and say, look, these animals, they don't deserve the light and the discretion and so on that these negative people are giving them. They don't deserve it. It's not fair. And the people out there saying that we're cruel for keeping them, or for example, there was one topic I really want to discuss here. There was a topic that Kevin Smith said, and Brian Barchett mentioned is when people are basically discriminating against us assist shedding. Now, for the idiots that really don't understand, right, and people that are saying, oh yeah, but you're hurting the snake, you're hurting the animal, you're putting stress on it. Now listen to yourself real quick, just think about this for 2 seconds, right? It rubs itself against rocks in the wild, against rocks, sharp objects, trees, you name it, to get that skin off, because that skin, once it's ready to be shed, is very irritable for that animal. And if it doesn't come off, it can cause bacteria, fungal infections, mites, all sorts of problems, right? So if you don't get that shed off, it could potentially harm your animal. The snake is nowhere near, not even a midge, stressed out at you helping it. If anything, if I was a reptile, right? Sorry about this a second, because obviously it's not camera. If I was a reptile and I was struggling to get my skin off, and I'm like, oh, get it off, it's irritating. And somebody help me get that off. I know I'm thinking from a person's point of view right now, but think about it. I'd be much more appreciative, but I feel better now. Yeah, cheers for that. And go on and do my own thing. Now, a snake, when people say it hurts them, it doesn't hurt them at all. They've already produced their next layer of skin, right? It's ready, right? If that snake wasn't ready and you started to take the shed off, yeah, you're going to do some serious damage. But once that snake has started to shed, instead of it struggling and constantly rubbing its body raw on stuff, trying to rub stuff off and potentially hurting itself, all you're doing is just assisting. You're just like, come on, mate. And you watch it in the wild. You watch these documentary programs. Don't be daft. You see Steve Irwin. There's like a video of like a snake pinned against 2 rocks and he's peeling the skin off, right? And the skin is like basically like a condom, really. And you pull a condom off, it's kind of the same thing as that, right? So why does it harm the snake when we assist, when we help that snake from being stressed and being possibly irritated by its skin? Answer yourself that, right? Before you start going, you're cruel, you're this, you're that, think about it logically, right? Because people like you really piss me off, because it's like, you don't look at the bigger picture. You don't want to understand why we're doing it. We're not doing it to hurt it. We're not doing it to be cruel. We love them animals more than what you realise. If we didn't love these animals, we wouldn't keep them. We wouldn't put the time and effort and the dedication into making sure these animals stay healthy and alive. So really think about it before you start judging everybody. So if anyone out there is actually wants to try and support this channel and the movement of the conservation for animals, and especially reptiles and the reptile community, and instead of the reptile community slagging one another off because you keep yours different to how I keep mine, you do this and because of that, let's just be one. Let's just be one unit and support each other, right? Because if we support each other, then the whole world's a better place. Rules, regulations, restrictions, licensing, laws, they won't be so tight. They won't be so, ready to pounce on you in one fell swoop. Because when it does happen, I can guarantee, if we were all together as one, we've got no one else to blame. We can't say it's your fault because of this, it's your fault. It's the dickheads on the outside of the circle that have caused that problem, right? The ones who don't who've got a snake just to say, oh, I've got a snake at home. Yeah, they're cool. You ain't got a clue how to look after it though, have you? So the people that genuinely care, love their animals, support each other. Come on, this is what we need to do. We need to be one unit. Steve Irwin, for example, he didn't hate the people that poached his animals and treated them cool. He wanted to educate them. Educate them. Because it's what it's about. If you're poorly educated and miseducated, so like, misinformed of a certain topic or whatever it is someone's telling you about, you're not going to understand properly. You don't think how we do, how us animal lovers do, right? He wanted to teach these people that were misinformed, like these alligators, these crocodiles ain't out to kill us. They're not out to hunt us because they feel like it. They're not nasty creatures. They are wild animals and they need to hunt for food. And at the end of the day, it's like us looking at a fish in a lake, gone fishing for food. We're hunting it. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, we can think about what we hunt. Crocodile, it sees an opportunity, it takes it. It doesn't mean it's a nasty animal, like it's our murderous, cold-blooded creature. It's not. It's just doing what's natural. And then people out there that go hunting them because they're scared of it attacking someone, or they find some bullshit excuse to wear it as a belt or as a hat, or use it for trophy, or I had to go hunt that crocodile because it was in my pool. No, full of shit. I'm sorry, you're full of shit. You weren't taught properly as a youngster, as a child, that animal is just doing what's natural, right? It's found water because it needs to, that's primarily where they live, in the water. And instead of you going out killing it just because it's there in your garden, get someone out, move it to a national park or something, or somewhere where it can thrive without interfering with us. Because as we are animals, we are mammals at the end of the day. We are the number one predator. We are the nastiest bastards around, right? And there's nothing worse than putting an innocent, vulnerable animal close to where we are. Yeah, we've taken all of its habitat, its life. Well, not necessarily its life, but it's like we've taken its home. We've taken its environment. That's our fault. So when, for example, in America, I suppose, when a bear comes to your back garden, and you're like, honey, get the gun, I'm going to shoot the damn thing. Why are you shooting it? You've taken its fucking home. That's not its fault. It doesn't deserve to die because it's wandered into your garden. I know not all of you are like that, and I know a lot of people out there admire it and be like, wow, look at that. That's beautiful. Look at it. It's doing its own thing and it will eventually wander off. But there's people out there that are quick to jump to conclusions. Like, it's going to kill us. It's going to come in the house. It's going to... No. They're not... Oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here because I'm getting super into it right now and I could just tear some people apart, because if I ever had the chance to speak to one of these people, these animal activists who... You know what I mean? Them extreme ones. Them knobheads that make it so hard for us who actually care about the animal and its well-being. Like, they care a lot. Don't get me wrong, they do. They do. But they make it that extreme. They actually make it worse for the animal than they do making it better. So these extremists out there that said Steve Irwin was horrible to animals, you can go and fuck yourself and die in hell. Right? You can rot in hell. Steve Irwin loved his animals. He never tormented them. What he was doing was educating you people, right? He was educating the people of the world that when you're teaching your kids this, oh, these animals, they're cute and fluffy, blah, blah, or look, it looks like it's dead, but, it's dangerous. He was showing you how dangerous they are, the potential of what that animal could do. And he'd never mistreated his animals. Never. That man was a proper animal lover, and he wanted the world to know the truth behind it all. He wanted to show you how dangerous them animals were. He weren't just diving on crocodiles for the sake of it, to piss the crocodile off or to hurt it. He was moving them and relocating them to a safer place, away from us, from humans, away from danger. because eventually we were going to end up wiping them out. So he was the one protecting them. Although it looked cruel and jumping on it and whatever, but if he didn't move that crocodile or show you the capability and educate you of what it's capable of and show you how it works, there's people out there that are so stupid. Like, oh, it's just like a dog, I'm going to stroke it. Whack. That person's dead, lost an arm, lost a leg, whatever, right? Because you were misinformed. Because you chose not to educate yourself or let someone else who's willing to educate you in on how dangerous some things can be, how it works, how their environment is, how it's going to change, and how they're going to end up either extinct or hunted for game and just for shits and giggles. So yeah, I'm actually gonna stop here. So, but yeah, peace out to Brian Barczyk, peace out to Kevin Smith, and peace out to Tyler Noah, I think it is. I'm not sure. I will get your name right. I've only just started watching your videos, to be fair, Tyler. If this gets out to you, dude, you're awesome. And anyone else watching this who's a proper reptile and animal lover like myself, please comment and just try and get this. You know, this channel's not going to be ever like this long and ranty and stuff, but I just want to get my first video out there so people see what I'm about and what I want to try and do for the future of animals and reptiles in general. Okay, so please share, show your friends, comment, subscribe, like, whatever you're going to do. I don't take things to heart. All I want to do is try and get my love, my care, my vision, my passion out there for the animal lovers and people who want to start something good. Our own reptile community to become one, not become segregated. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this video was educational. I hope it went too ranty. I'm really sorry. But yeah, peace out, my boys. Peace out to the world and just enjoy life and, take care of one another. Peace out.